As you may know by now, Tory Lanez has been found guilty of all three charges. And I don't know. I don't know which way I feel about this. I know he should have been considered guilty for one, but I didn't expect this to be guilty across the board. These were the three charges that he was facing: assault with a semi-automatic handgun, carrying a loaded unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence. Now, I wasn't up on every nook and cranny of the case, but I know a big part that had been dropped in the case was that his DNA was not found on the gun at all. It wasn't on the magazine and it wasn't on the gun. At some point they said it was inconclusive or whatever, but it was not without a shadow of a doubt that his DNA was on the gun or the magazine. And so therefore, I have a problem with them saying that, you know, the first charge, assault with a semi-automatic handgun. How? When he wasn't, it doesn't say he was holding the gun. And then also discharging a firearm with gross negligence. I don't see how he can be found guilty on that charge if his DNA wasn't on the gun. Now, if he had a gun, because I believe he was a felon, which is why I made this having a gun so egregious. So for him to even have a gun in his vicinity was a problem. So that second charge I could see, you know, unregistered firearm in a vehicle. I could see that. If it was his firearm, if it was somebody else's firearm, it shouldn't be in your vicinity. So I kind of figured he would get time for that. But as far as firing the gun or saying he assaulted somebody with the gun, for the most part of the case, I heard that the girls were the ones doing the fighting. Like Tori and Meg was fighting, but then Kelsey and Meg was fighting, you know, and then as far as they say, Kelsey was shooting. I don't know. I don't know. It tends to be a lot of ups and downs and lying and on this side and that side. But I definitely know Meg was lying in this case. A few times she was caught to be lying. But does that mean she deserves to be shot? No. No, I don't wish her to be shot or nothing like that. But what I am trying to get to is the truth. And as much as she may be at ends with Tori as far as how she feels about him and this, that, and the other, I'm trying to get to, did he shoot at you or not? And in this case, it doesn't look like he did. Because, DNA is hard to speak against. But apparently in a jury held courtroom, it isn't. Because you can look at DNA evidence and say, no, I don't believe that. I don't know what you do with that. But like I say, I can give you that he shouldn't have been in possession of the gun or had the gun in his vicinity or in his car or whatever. I don't know who car it was, but I don't know if I agree with the fact that they're saying he assaulted her with the gun or, you know, because from witness standpoint, and you can't really trust a witness to say, you know, because it's he say, she say. But one of the witnesses that was heard to be said was they didn't see him exactly with the gun, but they also said this guy changed his story after meeting with Tory's team also. So there's a lot of stuff I don't know that's going on back and forth, this, that, and the other, about who was, you know, telling the truth, who wasn't. I thought it was looking a certain way because Meg's witnesses weren't showing up for her. They were disappearing on her because I figured they didn't want to lie on the stand. And I thought it wasn't looking good for Meg at the time as far as proving that Tory shot at you. And for me, that's the problem with these type of cases is when you get made up in your mind, oh, such and such did this, and I'm going to put blame on such and such. That's where the problem lies to me. Because at that point, it seems like we're not trying to get to the truth. The question you should be asking was, who did this? If you weren't sure who shot at you or who did this, that, and the other, what should be trying to be figured out is who did it, who is guilty for this. Not saying I'm going to make this person guilty for this. It's like how I felt about the Jessica Reed and Charlemagne case. My heart goes out to young women because this is not black men attacking black women and saying we don't protect y'all. We do protect y'all and we love y'all for sure. But I just am in a place where I want guilt to be placed in the proper place that it should be placed. I did a lot of P's right there. Didn't I? The proper place that it should be placed with in the perpetuity of the propaganda that has been perpetuated. You know, I get down like that sometimes. I got words. But anyway, I just want guilt to be placed where it should be placed. You know, not where you want it to be placed or who you think it should be placed. Because like in the case of Jessica Reed, I was just saying she's now bringing a federal lawsuit against Charlemagne. But once again, like when they did the kit on her, and it was found that Charlemagne's DNA wasn't present under her fingernails nor in her private parts. So it was like, well, how could he have done the crime? And I feel like this, in this case too, with Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion, that how could you unequivocally say that he shot the gun or assaulted her with the gun if his DNA was not on the gun? To me, that kind of said, that spoke louder than everything else that was going on in this case, because it was said that Tori was caught lying. It was said that Meg was caught. We know Meg was caught lying a bunch of times. It was said that Kelsey was even lying. But it seems like to be a lover's spat between all of these people. And Meg, she is the victim, but she has also played up being more of a victim adding in the situation of who was doing this, that, and her, and she crying and all this. But it was like a lot of the times in these situations, Meg was the evil one behind the scenes, making stuff happen. She's sleeping with this person and that person, and she want to sleep with your man, and you know what I'm saying, all of that type of stuff. Like she was being very vindictive, I guess, but that has nothing to do with her being shot. But what I'm saying is that in this whole debacle, she is a victim for getting shot, but she's playing up being a victim and not conceding to the things that she has added to this fire. You understand what I'm saying? Because that was what they were arguing about in the first place, is Tory flirting with Kylie Jenner and she mad at him, but this, that, and the other. But it's like, why are you mad at him? Because you shouldn't be messing with Tori. You had put Tori up on your girl. It was a whole debacle where, a lot of friendship lines were being crossed and broken. But that has nothing to do with her being shot or her being victimized in a real way. But I'm just saying, I'm with you, Meg, as far as that shouldn't have been done to you. You understand what I'm saying? But where I break off from you is, if it was done to you by your friend Kelsey, then the blame should be placed there. If it was done to you by somebody else in the car, I don't know who or whatever, then the blame should be placed there. But I can't say that it was done by Tori, because the DNA evidence says otherwise. It says that he wasn't holding the gun. It says he didn't shoot the gun. So outside of that, I don't know how the jury kind of missed that one. But some people say it was unequivocal that he did shoot the gun. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. I thought that this case was kind of going in the way of a slam dunk in Tory's favor, because Meg had been caught lying so many times. Just lying about, in the first place, it was glass in her foot and it wasn't. And they were like, why are you protecting somebody that shot you? Okay, I can understand that partially, but right then you automatically establishes that you're lying. And then the whole thing with Gayle King, where she wouldn't even admit that she was having sexual relations with Tory. And that was like, we all looked at her sideways for that, like, okay, now you extra lying, you know what I'm saying? And then come out, she would have sex with everybody, But that's neither here nor there. But I'm just saying, if you would lie about that, you may lie about this. And I felt like she wanted Tori to be guilty. A lot of people wanted Tori to be guilty, and now they're getting their wish. But I was kind of trying to see how it all played out, which is why I wasn't speaking on it as it was going on a lot, you know what I'm saying? Because I was trying to see how it played out and really where it was going. But that DNA thing was kind of the big kicker to me. Once I heard that, I was like, this has to be kind of a win for Tory because of the DNA. If his hands is not on the gun, then I don't know how you can call him guilty for anything but being in the vicinity of the gun. But apparently you can. because it has been done, and he is facing 22 years, and his pops went off after that. You know, I don't know if that hurt or helped him, but his pops definitely bubbled over after seeing his son convicted of all this. But we'll see how many years he get and how this plays out, and if appeal is said to be had or something like that. But hey, you tell me what you think. Do you think justice was served here? Do you think it was not? Let me know something in the comments. Get at your boy.